So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. Tonight, I am joined by Niklas, and he's the lead singer for the band LIVLØS,
Close
Danish,
enough, yeah.
close enough, melodic death metal band. And we're here to talk about their third upcoming album, which is coming out October the 4th. So it's going, the album's called The Crescent King. So first of all, Niklas, good night. There over in your country, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. And yeah, as you said, it's just about an hour and a half from midnight, so it's a bit late, but it's all good.
They put the interviews for you guys too late.
Well,
That's right.
I mean, to adjust for the time difference, I guess. What's the time at your end?
Oh, where I'm in, it's in the afternoon, like 5 p.m. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
know, it's earlier here. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's later for you. So I listened to the album. I saw the videos of you guys playing on YouTube. So the videos that you have for the new album, it's the videos are like performance. You're playing in stage, and you can feel like the energy of the band. So tell me, for people who haven't known the band, tell us a little bit about the history of the band.
The history of the band. Well, the band started back in 2014. I'm not the original singer. I joined in 2018, so 4 years later. Have almost been in the band for 6 years. But yeah, it started like I think with the drummer, the original singer, and our lead guitarist. So lead guitarist Franz, drummer Thomas, and original singer Simon. And then I know that I think it was Franz, his friend Søren, the original bass player. He knew him, and then Thomas, our drummer, went to studied with our other guitarist Kenneth. So Simon and Søren, the original singer and bassist, was replaced by me, the new singer Niklas, and our new bass player Benjamin.
Yeah. So you can say that the band got better when you joined. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's when the turning point, the pivoting of the band started when you joined. But so yeah, so you joined in 2018, and you joined for the second album, and now this is your second album with the band, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they did
So
an EP and one album before me.
awesome. So I was reading that like a lot of like the themes that LIVLØS like to talk about is about it's funny you put Homo sapiens. I'm like, you could put humans in the press release. They talk about Homo sapiens. I'm like, okay, like you could have put like human beings and it would be good. So you talk a lot about humans, but this one, the Crescent King, is of what I got from the promo. It's like a concept record from the point of being of this king that rules some intergalactic dimension. So it's like a sci-fi, almost, if you say, like a concept record, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, just to the first thing you said. I mean, if our press release says Homo sapiens, yeah, sure. But yeah, I would probably
That's what the
most
press
like.
release says, man. It says that you talk about Homo sapiens.
Yeah, okay. We of course have different PR people in the mix writing these press releases with us. I would myself just say humanity or human beings, like you said. So yeah, but yeah, all of our albums have been about human beings and like existential questions about life and death. So this album is, like you said, follows the main character, the Crescent King, through like a chronological told story. Um, where basically the story starts with the world, our world, going under, getting destroyed, and he has to rescue humanity and find them a new world. And so some of the story is like their journey into finding another world in another galaxy. And when they find that new home, they begin the cycle of humanity's hubris and destruction again. So the same story gets told again with the Crescent King as their leader, with them ending up destroying their new home, and even on an even bigger scale, like destroying that whole galaxy in the end. So that's the short version of it, but there's of course a lot of moving pieces in between and a lot of things happening in between that I think are the more exciting things. And yeah, it is a sci-fi journey, but like the lyrical, it's almost like sci-fi mixed with medieval fantasy.
Yes, because I'll show the artwork soon, but yeah, because you get the king, and the king looks very medieval, but everything's sci-fi. So it's basically a concept, but also like looking at human beings like as a whole. So it's not just like a sci-fi concept. There's many things in between. Do you guys as a band write the songs and the concept together, or are you writing all the lyrics and the themes for the record?
Yeah, so I'm writing almost all the lyrics and came up with the concept as well. Well, actually, our guitarist Franz came up with the idea of making a concept album and it's being like a space outer space journey. But his idea was different originally, like being more like loose, and where each song would be like a metaphor for something else. And it was a great idea originally, but we had trouble coming up with like concrete ideas of what each song was going to be about. So I came up with this idea instead of just telling a story through the entire album and making it like having the story in a clear structure throughout. Mm-hmm. And then I love like dark fantasy and medieval fantasy, so I kind of wanted to mix that in with the sci-fi. So that's like, especially the way the lyrics are written is more old, like it's not futuristic. I'm not singing about spaceship and so forth. Actually, the way I describe the spaceships in one of the songs is more like regular ships in the sea. So yeah, the setting is sci-fi, but like the story and all the things going on there is much more down to earth.
Yeah, so I would compare it to maybe like Lord of the Rings meets Prometheus.
Yeah,
and you mix them, and that's what because when you're saying the story, I'm like, that sounds like Prometheus. There's engineers and they created the galaxy, but then they fucked up and everybody dies. So yeah, it sounds but with medieval themes. So like when you were writing this concept, because I don't know, to me, writing like an essay is fucking hard. So how did you, like a concept record, like how long did it take you to do the concept? And like I know it's gotta be like you have to make every like song go into itself, but when I was listening to his record, it also felt like you could listen to songs and out of order and you would be okay as well.
I don't quite understand the question. Regarding listening.
That a lot of times concept records that follow a story, you need to listen from beginning to end. So if you listen to some tracks out of order, they don't make sense. But this is a concept record, but I felt like every song, like you could listen to songs not in order and truly enjoy it without like losing the story.
Yeah, of course. Like, so first off, the music is like, of course, there's some coherence in the music, but we always make our songs like so you can listen to them individually.
Like a standalone, yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
And so for the lyrics as well, even though they are all connected, each song still has their own part of the story. So like take like one of our singles, Usurpers. This is about this song is about that plot where some of the king's crew are planning a mutiny against him and trying to kill him. So like that's each song still has a self-contained story within the greater whole. So, and then of course you can also listen to the music without even listening to the lyrics or the concept. I mean, it's not like a book where you have to actually understand the story to enjoy it. So you can still really enjoy our music without even caring about the concept of the story. And even if you do care about it, you can still listen to them individually and understand that piece of the story.
Good, good. I'm glad I explained the question because I was looking at you and like, oh my God, I'm pissing him off. I'm like, what the hell are you saying? That's my story. Yeah, I'm like, no, it's a good thing because sometimes with concept albums, like for example, Dream Theater has a concept album called The Astonishing. Yeah. But if you like put tracks, like if you listen to some stuff, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So the good thing about having a record that like, even though there's a story, but you could listen to individual stories, it's good because it's a song, you know, you don't have like these interludes that say stuff. So that's what I was trying to say, that it's like a concept record that you can listen to, but you can also listen to the singles and appreciate it and not be like, what the hell is going on here? But obviously, like I'm guessing, like if people buy the physical stuff, you have all the lyrics so people can follow the story. Are you thinking, because I know a lot of bands that do concept records, would you do like a comic book series?
Yeah, we actually we did consider doing something like a companion book or like with some, because some of the story are left untold because, you know, songs just are a more limited medium for telling a grand story. So we considered having this companion book with some explaining parts of the story in between the songs to make it even more coherent, and then with artwork for each song. But we kind of went away from that idea because we also wanted to do a lot of other things with the album, and also because of time constraints. It took a very long time to first create the music, and then we also, because to write the lyrics after the music was about done, because while writing a chronological story, we also had to, you know, have the right track listing.
Oh yeah.
Because if we all of a sudden flip the track listing, then the story wouldn't make sense anymore. So I was actually starting very late in the process of writing the lyrics, and even the music got recorded like half a year before I recorded the vocals.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we considered it, and we might still do something like a companion book or a comic book, which is also a great idea. I love comics.
Comic book could be, yeah. I know Coheed and Cambria does that a lot. And you know what? I love that band, but sometimes I listen to the album and I don't know what the fuck the story is about. I'm like, and there's people that really care. I'm like, I just want to listen if the songs are good. The same thing happened to me with Autumn by the Smashing Pumpkins. that every time he put out a song, he put like an explanation of the song. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, I didn't even get that there was like a story between the songs. But yeah, on this album, yeah, I can tell, you can tell, that every song uh, gives the story of this king. So when it was time to pick the singles, I think you picked some great ones because Orbit Weaver, that's a great track.
Yeah.
Just the name of the track alone. I'm guessing that's the Crescent King is the Orbit Weaver. He weaves the universe.
Not exactly, actually.
Not exactly. Okay. This is the thing.
There is
You
one
can
other
explain the
character.
concept.
Yeah, there's one other character than the Crescent King. Of course, there's all his followers, but the concept is actually every second song is told from the Crescent King's point of view, but every like odd number of songs, like 1, 3, 5, 7, is told by another character, which is, spoiler alert, the Orbit Weaver. It is this outer god,
spoiler alert,
inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, like Lovecraftian horror. So this Orbit Weaver, this outer god, is weaving both the universe and all lives in the universe, their destiny. So the story is also about the Crescent King, but also humanity breaking free from their destiny. So there's this question of, in the end, when humanity dies again and their world dies again, was that because of their free will, or is it just their destiny to do so?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It's very, yeah, it makes sense. I'm guessing you're the type of guy that before sleep, are you like, because it happens to me sometimes, you're thinking like, why am I here? Like, what is my purpose? And stuff like that. And, questions that never get answered. And this is why I like to interview bands that do concept records, because if I do like an album review, I don't fuck it up. Then I'll be like, no, because people be like, you got the story wrong. Sometimes it's hard to get the story. Sometimes I just like to review and talk like, yeah, this song is about this and like the music. But like sometimes if I'm like, if it's a lot of story, I'm gonna F it up, and I don't want to do that. So it's good because you're explaining here without obviously giving all the details, because we want people to be surprised when they listen to the album and the story and not know exactly where it's going.
Yeah, and I mean, I like to when I have tried telling stories through songs before, but like self-contained stories on a single track. But I like to tell whatever I'm telling through the lyrics. I like to tell them just subtle enough for the listener to make their own interpretation, but also clear enough that there's not like that you can't figure anything out yourself.
Oh yeah, that would be
because
bad.
I mean I've read a lot of lyrics before where I just had no idea what the song was about because it was too subtle. So I like to find a good balance of not answering everything within the lyrics, so the listener have to think for themselves, but also enough so they're not just totally confused.
No, yeah, you want the reader to follow them. But yeah, it's a cool concept, and musically, it's pretty hard hitting album, death metal album. And you guys have toured with. I've seen the people that you tour with. You tour with lots of bands. I saw that you tour. You tour with Convent, which I actually interviewed them here on the channel like 2 years ago. What process do you? I know you must enjoy the writing process, but do you prefer when it's time to go and perform the record and do it live? Because I saw your live videos, and it really seems like you kept the whole audience engaged, and I think that's I know there's bands that tell me that they prefer when they're in the studio, and some they prefer me. No, I prefer like to be like playing the record and touring.
Yeah, so I mean it's very different even within our bands. I think for me it's I love both parts. I love writing the lyrics and I love recording the vocals, and but I also very much love live shows. I think for me it needs to be a good combination of both, because if we're not writing anything new, live shows
Mhm.
can become boring because it's the same songs you're performing over and over. And if you never come out to live shows and play the songs, then you just get tired of just playing them in the rehearsal space. You want people to
Yeah.
listen to it live also.
Yeah. And do you think, and now that you're writing like this concept record, uh, do you want to keep writing concept records, or are you like, I don't know, like because it must be a lot of time consuming.
Yeah, I think I mean it was actually it was very tough writing this album. I think it was not quite as fun as writing a normal record. Because it was much harder. It took a lot more time and planning. Um, I don't know. The next one definitely won't be a concept album, and maybe not even the one after that. I think we'll most definitely have a break from the concept album thing, and maybe not even touch on that again.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
it seems like it's a lot of work, and uh, there's concept albums that are great, but there's concept albums that fall. But I think this is a very cool concept. I like the medieval, like mixing with the sci-fi, because it gives it like a different feel, because it's not an alien use. Let me show the artwork, since we've talked about the
Yeah.
artwork, so we can talk more about the artwork. So here's the artwork. Uh, I know I read the name of the artist who did the artwork. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool looking artwork. And you know that before, even when I looked at the artwork and before I listened to the music, because I haven't heard of the band, but then I listened to this and I listened to your older stuff, and I thought at first that it was a prog metal band because of the artwork.
Yeah.
But when I listen to the music, I'm like, no, they're not prog metal. But the cover, tell me a little bit about the cover.
Yeah. So the cover is painted by Illyrian Cantor, if you know who that is. He's
Yes,
done a lot of yeah, he's done a lot
Testament
of
and
metal.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I read that he did covers for it said Testament and many artists. So yeah.
Yeah. Testament, The Art of Murder, Psychroptic, Garea, a lot of awesome bands. So, and surprisingly, I don't think he's worked with that many prog bands. But anyway, so the cover is his original idea. The only thing we sent him was the summary of the story and concept, um, and also a few definitions of like why the king is called the Crescent King and the meaning of that and so on. And then I think we sent lyrics for 3 of the tracks, which was all we had at that point because, like I said, late to the game with writing lyrics to this album. So this was just what he came up with from that information. And we think he did a splendid job in the way we see it. He is depicting like the end of the album when the galaxy around the Crescent King is just falling apart, melting literally.
Yeah, it reminds me
Well,
of was it Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where the planets were eating or something like that?
yeah, yeah, you could, I see that. But yeah, with the Crescent King just sitting alone in his throne, which doesn't mean a lot when everything around him is going to shit.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty amazing album cover. So yeah, no, it's a very, it's detailed. It really looks really cool. So I really enjoyed the artwork for this. And you know, and it goes with the story. And when I was listening to the music, it fit the music that I was listening to. So Niklas, in this album, you know, writing this like right now, do you have like a favorite track from this record, or the one that's most personal to you?
Oh, I don't. Okay, that's actually two different answers.
Yes, I just
So
realized I did two different questions.
yeah, so my favorite track is definitely the song called Harvest. I think it's track 7. Um, it's definitely
Harvest is
I
number 7.
yeah. So I think it's the heaviest song, but also like it just has a lot of elements in it. Like the chorus is very heavy, the verses are very relaxing, like melancholic, relaxing, like not a lot of going on. It's very simple verse with almost nothing going on. Where I think especially my vocal comes through with a lot of grit and details. And then it moves over to this middle part of the song, which is chaotic and a lot of things going on. Well, it's where it's almost too much going on at once. So it goes from this very simple song to this, yeah, almost prog metal to prog death metal song.
Yeah,
And
almost,
then it moves over to like a black metal ending, like a very atmospheric, epic black metal ending, and still with like enough glue in between these three parts of the song where it still makes sense in between. So I think that song has all of what we can currently do with our music, I think.
yeah. So it's a
And then
track
my
that does a lot. Yeah.
yeah, and then I'm a most personal track on the record. Like there's no personal stories on this record, which is also kind of new for us because we always had personal stories on the previous ones. But the most personal to me is the intermezzo track called Solace. That is track 8. It's a very short track, like 1.5 minutes, where I actually do clean some clean singing for the first time
How
ever.
was that doing clean singing? I don't know why people are so afraid of clean singing. What the hell is
Well,
wrong with singing?
there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not that good at it because I never
Yeah,
practiced it.
yeah.
So that was like I was very nervous doing that because I'm very confident in my growling and screaming, but I'm definitely not confident in clean singing. Again, because I really haven't practiced it that much. And it also took some convincing for the other guys to accept me singing clean on it. Also, I tricked them a bit into doing it because I actually recorded it without them knowing, and then just showed
Oh,
it to them instead. So, but yeah, they in the end they were willing to go with it, and I think all of them likes it now. I hope.
plus
Yeah,
it gives you more stuff to do vocally.
yeah,
Like you can like I like sing, and you know, like melodic death metal. You know, there's great singers. I love Dark Tranquility, Soilwork, and they have clean melodic singing mixed with the harsher stuff, and I think it's great. I don't know. I grew up at the beginning of the 80s and 90s, so to me, it wasn't that weird that there was singing because that's how like metal used to be like that, and then it
yeah.
changed, and now it's like no, if it's clean or what, I don't know. Like, what do you mean clean? It's just it's just
Yeah, but it's
singing. So yeah.
yeah, and it's not uh power metal clean singing. It's like
Oh, thank God,
it's
no.
no, it's like this. It's just a low like chance singing. It's
Yeah, power
it's
metal to
nothing.
me, it's an acquired taste. I don't know. I'm like, it's one of the song genres that I'm like, not really much a huge a fan of, because it's clean singing, but it's too corny sometimes. I'm like, no, it's
Yeah.
too over the top. But no, I like some clean vocals, and maybe, who knows, maybe you can have a side project. Like when you first popped in, I didn't know. I thought first, like, I don't know if anyone told you, but you do look really a lot like him. Bill Ballo from him,
Who do I look like?
like the singer from him.
No,
You
oh,
remember
Villevalo. Yeah.
Bill Ballo? Yes, I know. Yeah, you have that kind of look.
Yeah, actually, my girlfriend thinks I look a lot like him as well.
So see, so I was like looking at him like, oh, like you really like could look, you look like the younger version of him. So yeah, so if you meet him, you have to take like a picture with him. So like
Yeah.
you compare, like I don't know if I saw a picture once of like it's Billy Corgan with Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. And I'm like, oh my God, they look similar. Like it was like separated at birth. Like only that like Billy's like without hair and taller. But when I saw it, I'm like, I didn't realize that they even the same face. So yeah, you kind of it's a good thing. You're not. I mean, you're like, who are you saying? So now you can tell your girlfriend, hey, this interviewer told me that I look like like.
I definitely will. And if I ever meet him, I'll be sure to take a picture of it.
Oh yeah, I love his stuff. You know, great stuff. So yeah, so the album. So getting back, the album's gonna be out the 4th of October. So what are they? What, you know? I'll put the pre-order for people who want to pre-order. Are you gonna have like a release show or some concerts booked before the year ends?
Yeah, so we are currently planning something for like the week of release, which I can't say anything about right now. But it's going to be in Denmark. And then we have two festivals for the rest of the year, also in Denmark, and we of course have an album tour, which I cannot tell anything about right now because it hasn't been announced, but there's something coming.
Soon. Yeah.
Soon. There's been some delays on the tour stuff, but hopefully soon we can announce that too.
Awesome. So I'll put the link. People, follow you on the socials so they can know when the tour is coming out and everything, and the link to the pre-order, to the album, and everything. So yeah, I'm not gonna take more of your night because it's late, and I'll let you go to sleep. But anything you like to say to the people watching before we go?
Check out the album, whether it's pre-ordering the album on vinyl or CD or on streaming. We appreciate every single listener, and come catch us at a show at some point. Of course, we are primarily, no, I don't know. We are also a very great live band, and we love giving it our all live.
No,
so come.
I saw your cons and like the live performances, and that very energetic. So yeah. So people, LIVLØS, I don't, I butchered the band name. I'm like because
No, it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
Pretty close. The album's out on October the 4th, so I'll put the link for everything. So Niklas, I want to thank you, for obviously agreeing to do this so late. I'm like, but you know what? I interviewed sometimes bands on this channel like at 11:30 my time as well. So I know what it's like, especially when I interview bands from Australia, because it's like nighttime and it's like morning for them or something like that, or it's the next day in the afternoon. But you gotta do it. But I would recommend this album to anyone who likes melodic death metal, like bands like Dark Tranquility, for example, Insomnium. If you like At the Gates, everything like that, Revocation, melodic stuff, but heavy stuff. This band is for you. So thank you for joining me again from your house to my apartment, my couch here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.